every single day. I'm gonna make something great.
Hello everyone. Today I have brought a very special video for all of you. Most of us, whenever we want to buy a laptop, we usually browse through the online e-commerce websites. But choosing a right laptop is not that easy, as there will be enormous number of choices available. And choosing a laptop is even more difficult when you go to shops, as the shopkeeper tries to sell you those laptops on which he or she has higher profit margin. But today this pain is going to end, as I will tell you each and everything you need to consider while purchasing a laptop. So why waste time? Let's jump directly into the video. But before I start the video, if you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe now to enjoy more such tech content in English and Kannada. First thing you need to consider is your use case. That is whether you need a laptop for gaming or for productivity. Because if you are using a laptop mainly for business purpose or for study or for work or you travel a lot, having a gaming laptop doesn't make any sense, as you don't need so much power, and also gaming laptops are usually big and bulky. So carrying them will be a difficult task. But if you need a laptop mainly for gaming or for processor intensive tasks and you are okay with the weight of the laptop, you should definitely consider gaming laptop, as productivity laptop doesn't fulfill your needs. Now comes the important aspect, that is the processor. Here I am not going to tell you which processor you need to consider. For that there are a lot of videos on the internet, you can go and check it out. But I am going to tell you what all you need to consider while choosing a processor. First thing is the generation of the processor. Usually the latest generation processor comes with the better performance and better optimization compared to the previous generation processor. So I will always recommend considering the latest generation processors while buying a laptop, unless you are getting a very good deal on the laptop with older generation processor. So for your information, the latest Intel processor are of 12th generation, and for AMD processors it is 6000 series as of doing this video. To give you a small example, let me consider Intel i5 11th Gen 11300H and Intel i5 12th Gen 1240p. Now, if you are wondering what is 11300H and 1240p, I will explain that in the later part of this video. Now, coming back, both 11300H and 1240p are performance series processor in i5 lineup from their respective generation. Now, considering the architecture of these processors, Intel i5 11th Gen 11300H has 4 cores and 8 threads, whereas Intel i5 12th Gen 1240p has 12 cores and 16 threads. Remember, more the number of cores, better is the multitasking, and higher the thread count, faster is the processing. Not only the number of cores, but latest generation processor comes with other improvements too. You can see for yourself in all the benchmarking softwares, Intel 12th generation processor are much better than 11th generation processor. So always try to get the laptop with the latest generation processor. Now coming to what is 11300H or 1240p in the i5 lineup. Whenever a company launches a particular processor, say Intel i5 12th generation processor, it not just launches one particular variant of that processor, but there will be a lot of different variants in that particular processor lineup. This is the lineup of Intel i5 12th generation processor. You can see there are literally 26 different variants of 12th generation Intel i5 processor. There are U series processor, P series processor, H series processor and others. Here U stands for low power CPU, mainly for low power ultralight laptops. P series stands for performance and mainly for thin and light performance laptops. H stands for high performance productivity and gaming laptops. These are few series. If you want to know more about different series, I will leave a link in the description. You can go and read it. So in terms of performance, H series is more powerful than P series, which is more powerful than U series. So if you need a powerful laptop, better go for P or H series. But remember, more power comes at a cost of your laptop battery. So choose a right processor according to your need. This is true for AMD processors too. Even in AMD, you have U series, H series, which is similar to Intel processors. Now, if you are thinking that I know how to select the processor, you are wrong. There is still one thing you need to understand, that is TDP. TDP stands for Thermal Design Power. It is the total amount of heat the processor outputs in watts under a sustained load. Or in other words, it is the amount of heat that has to be dissipated by the cooling system. If this all seems to be confusing, you can just think it as higher the TDP, higher the performance. So higher the performance means more heat is generated from the processor. So usually, depending upon the laptop design and its cooling system, companies change the TDP of the processor to manage the heat better. So a laptop with sufficient space to build a better cooling system will have a better performance compared to a thin and light laptop with the exact same processor. So you might have heard some people saying this laptop has same processor as some other laptop, but this doesn't perform as good as that. The reason for this is the TDP of the processor. So whenever you are buying a laptop, don't just go with the processor and judge the laptop's performance. Understand the TDP value and then make a purchasing plan. And this is exactly same for the GPUs too. So you make sure you understand the configuration of the processor before buying a laptop. Now we will come to the RAM section. While purchasing the laptop, you must check what version of the RAM it has and what is its clock speed. The latest version of the RAM type available is LPDDR5, but it is commonly not available. Most commonly used RAM type is LPDDR4. And the frequency of the RAM is also very important because higher the frequency, higher is the read and write speed of the RAM. 3200 MHz is usually found in most laptops, and some budget laptops have less frequency also. But always try to choose a laptop with LPDDR4 and 3200 MHz or more frequency RAM. Now, if you are a heavy user and you are buying a laptop with just 8 GB RAM, make sure there is an extra RAM slot available for expanding the RAM. Some thin and light laptops comes with onboard RAM, that is RAM soldered into a motherboard. You can neither change it nor expand. In that case, it is better to go for higher RAM configuration. Now coming to the storage type, it is no-brainer that SSDs are 3 to 4 times faster than HDDs. So whenever you are buying a laptop, try to get the laptop with SSDs only. When it comes to SSDs, there are several types of SSDs. Major are SATA SSDs and PCI 3 NVMe SSD. PCI 3 NVMe SSDs are faster than SATA SSDs, but they are expensive too. You can see all the different variants of PCI 3 NVMe SSDs available on the screen. I always suggest you to purchase laptop with latest PCI 3 SSDs only. Usually laptops comes with 512 GB of SSD. So always make sure laptop you buy has expandable storage at least up to 1 TB. Now we will come to the display of the laptop. Display is the major part of the laptop because that's the component we interact, but usually people don't think too much about it, and that's where companies tries to trick you with poor display quality. There are different types of panel available on laptops. You have IPS LCD panel, VA panel, TN panel, OLED panel. Out of all these, I suggest IPS LCD for laptop display. That's because they produce great contrast, great viewing angle, and they produce great colors too. Now you may ask, why not OLED display, as they are superior to LCD panel. That's true. OLED are superior to LCD panel in terms of colors and contrast, but they come with some cons, and especially on laptops that might cause huge problem. First problem is burn-in issue. If you don't know what is burn-in issue, we all know OLED panels are lit by individual LEDs, and these individual LEDs degrade over time. So when you have static image on screen for longer time, the LED which is powering up that static image can degrade faster than other LEDs, causing the burn-in issue. Some image seem to stay on screen forever. Companies tries to mitigate this issue, but over long period we never know. And the second problem is flickering issue. This is quite noticeable when the brightness is low, and it might cause eye strains. Companies use some techniques to minimize this issue, but still these are the major problems with OLED displays. Now, second important thing to keep in mind is display resolution. I still see some companies provide HD resolution even in 15.6-inch screen size. That's absolutely trash. I would highly recommend you should go for Full HD or higher resolution display when selecting a laptop. Now, just selecting a laptop with good resolution is not enough, especially if you are a creative person and do lot of color correction, photo editing or video editing. You should make sure your laptop screen produces accurate colors. The best way to know this is how much percentage of different color gamuts does the laptop screen covers. Some commonly used metrics are sRGB, NTSC, DCI-P3 and etc. I have seen most of the budget and even upper budget laptops comes with 45% NTSC. While they are okay if you are using it for video calls or working with Excel or studying purpose, but if you are consuming lot of media or if you are a creator who do lot of color correction or do video and photo editing, you will not have a pleasant experience with that. I would suggest you to go with the laptop with the higher coverage of color gamuts. And with the color gamut, you must also concentrate on the brightness of the screen. I see most laptop comes with around 200 nits of brightness, which is fine for the indoor, but you will have a hard time outside under the harsh sunlight. So I would suggest you to go for a laptop with more than 250 nits of brightness. Now, coming to the software, sometimes to keep the cost low, companies don't provide Windows operating system. Either they use Linux or DOS. So always while making a purchase, make sure the laptop has pre-installed Windows operating system with lifetime validity. But if your work or study needs Linux, then definitely go for it. But never buy a DOS laptop, as it will not have any operating system and you need to install OS to use it. And another important thing to consider is Microsoft Office 365 lifetime license. If you don't know what is Microsoft Office 365, all your Word, PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote comes under Microsoft Office. Some companies only gives trial version of Microsoft Office 365. After trial offer ends, you have to purchase it by yourself, which will cost a lot of money. So always make sure you get lifetime license of Microsoft Office 365 with your laptop. Other things to consider are if your laptop has fingerprint or IR face scanner, it's an added advantage. And also check if the laptop has sufficient IO ports. Some of the important ports that should be there are USB Type A 3.1, USB Type C with higher data transfer, and headphone jack. These are mandatory ports. But if the laptop has HDMI and SD card reader, it's a added advantage. So these are the important aspects that you must check while purchasing a laptop. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share this video with your friends and family. And if you want to see more such content, please subscribe too.